welcome back to this series on automating your bookkeeping using QuickBooks Online. In this video, we're specifically going to be looking at the option to connect some e-commerce applications to QuickBooks Online so that it can help you eliminate the need to do any manual entry or any manual imports from your e-commerce channel into QuickBooks. And you can see there's a lot of different options here available to us in terms of our e-commerce applications. And a couple caveats to this would be, depending on the QuickBooks subscription that you have, if you are on Simple Start, you have the ability to bring in one e-commerce channel. If you're on the Essentials plan, you can bring up to 3 channels. And then on the Plus subscription, you're able to do unlimited as well as advanced. You can do unlimited e-commerce channels. So for most of you, it's going to be one channel, maybe 3. So you kind of know where you need to be. You need to be on either the Simple Start or the Essentials plan in order to do this. All right, so let's go out to QuickBooks and let's just do a test here and show you what that looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to bank transactions, and then I'm going to click on app transactions, and I'm going to see I have some options out here. I'm going to pick the Square app because I happen to have a Square account. So I'm going to go ahead and connect and sign into your Square connector, review your data sync, sit back and relax. That's what we're trying to do, right? All right, so it's going to bring up a screen here, and I need to plug in some information. And plug in the password. Text me the code. Okay. It's going to tell you everything that it wants to have access to. We're going to click Allow. Setting up our connection. All right, this is how far back do you want to go? All right, so in my case, I'm not actually using my Square account, so probably doesn't really matter how far back I go. I'm just going to leave it at today's date, but you have the ability to have all of these different options available to you, including custom date, which is really nice. All right, so you can do a couple things. You can add your transactions automatically. So if you'd rather review, categorize, and confirm each transaction yourself, QuickBooks won't add your Square transactions to your books for you. I like that option. I'm an accountant. I want to look it over before I pull the trigger on it. So I am sure that at some point we can automate it to go ahead and turn that toggle back on. But for me, I'd rather have a chance to look at it. All right, store locations. So if you have multiple store locations, it gives you the option to put those in. So you'll see I have 3 different options here. I'm actually just going to deselect the 2. I've tested this before, and cash account's always going to be checking. QuickBooks store location, that's fine. I just want the one. But as you can see, you can have multiple locations. All right, let's hit save. Customer tracking, yeah, I'd like to save that customer information, and product tracking, I'd like to save, which I assume most people will. I'm going to sync now. And what this is going to do is it's going to bring in any transactions that fall in your sync date, which in our case there will be none. But it's also going to add some general ledger accounts. So I think if I click on the 3 dots here, I'm going to click on my settings, and I'm going to see what options I have here. So again, like we said, can I add these automatically still? Yes, I can. At whatever point I'm ready and I know everything's working, I can turn this on. Store locations, I can add or subtract the stores, right? And back here, items. It's going to tell me what items I have set up. And so when you do these e-commerce applications, these are going to be very, very simplified in terms of how they're going to hit your profit and loss statement. So if you're looking for sales line items on your profit and loss by category or by lines and things like that, this is probably not going to be your best bet. But if you just have a channel out there that's for Square, maybe you have a physical retail store, but you also have this Square application where somebody can buy things online, it will bring all that in together as one sales channel. So you can see the different products that you have in here. You can change these up, and I'm just going to leave these all alone. Hit save. We're going to go back and see what does it say about customer and vendor. There you got Square customer, or you can plug in maybe a custom name for a customer. And Square fee vendors, that's right, Square. Save. Here we go, advanced. this is what I was looking for. So what are the accounts that you're actually going to use in QuickBooks, so you can actually dictate where you want these to go. What happens is when you bring these in, they're going to bring in a bunch of different general ledger accounts to it. So Square brought with it a bunch of Square accounts, and we're going to take a look at where all those fall here in a moment. But you have the ability to change all these up. For me, like sales tax payable, I wouldn't want a Square sales tax item. I just want a sales tax payable account. So anyway, let's go ahead and hit save here. Let's leave these as is. And customer tracking is on, product tracking is on, so we're ready to sync now still. Okay, so I don't have anything here. The one thing I do want to show you is where some of the stuff I think lives. If I hit overview, I think it is not going to show up here until we start having some payouts. But this will be where you start to see some of the flow of your items coming in from Square, would be in this e-commerce area. But let's go to transactions and look at our chart of accounts. It'll show you the Square accounts that it's added. There they are. So it'll create a Square deposit account, holds and disputes, sales tax payable, and you'll see what type of accounts they are. So obviously deposit account's a bank account, holds and deposit would be another current asset. Here's some liabilities. You got sales tax, you got your gift card, any other Square liabilities. Maybe you have a loan with Square, that might fall in there. You got tips. You have some income accounts for discount sales, service charges, adjustments for cost of goods sold, Square fees, and then other Square income. So all those are in there. And so what you can do is, as transactions start to flow through, and you can see these under the app, they'll fall right in here. You'll be able to review those. You'll be able, I think, to modify maybe where those go a little bit. And then you can approve those, and those will actually then post into QuickBooks. One of the nice features with these e-commerce apps is how they handle the actual deposits or the cash that comes in. And a lot of times what you have payments that come in from Square. They are not brought in individually, but they come in at the end of the day, and you'll get the net amount of the payment, not the gross amount of the payment. So, and I'm not sure how Square actually does it on this app integration with QuickBooks, but they may show you the gross amount of your deposit, so you can match that up against your Square deposit account. And then it has the fees associated with it, whether it be credit card fees or ACH fees that you're paying. Those merchant account fees are going to go against it. So it may come in as a net deposit, or it may show as a gross deposit. My recollection with Square with a previous client is it brings it in as a net. And so it's going to help you go through that process of how do you match that up and automate that a bit. So that's going to be super handy. It gets a little tricky on deposits. That's been a real big issue with e-commerce integrations with any application, any accounting application, is trying to figure that part out. The last thing I'll say about e-commerce apps is if you have multiple channels, and again, if you would like to have different, if you want to have your profit and loss show not just a Square income account, but rather you want to see different lines that you have of your product offering as line items in your income statement or your profit and loss, you're going to want to have a different product. You're going to need to look up a bit, and you're going to have to pay something for that. And one of those we've talked about in the original video was Cinder. And I think I just got this pulled up here. This is to be one I would recommend that you take a look at. Cinder is probably the biggest player in here. They do a fantastic job of allowing you to customize your integrations with e-commerce in a way that you want to, especially in a more complex environment. You can see what the costs are associated with these, and I won't get into all the different plans that they have and how far out can you go. But yeah, there is some money involved in that, but then you have to look at what is the cost of your time versus what are you trying to accomplish. So if you can save a lot of time by doing that integration and you're able to sell more, then it's somewhat of a moot point on what that cost is going to turn out to be. All right, so we've done our example with Square. We kind of have an idea of this is where you're going to see your transactions roll in. This is where you're going to review and approve them. Once you do, it should automate the process of even your deposits coming in, being able to match that up with the information that's already been received into QuickBooks. So something I'd recommend is looking at that if you are an e-commerce company or business. If you're not using that right now, I would recommend you take a look at that and see how this would work for you. If you have any feedback, any questions, or if there are other videos you'd like to see, just let us know. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.